Hello dear students, you are welcome in this video. Dear students, in this video we are going to talk about first wave feminism. We have made a video on feminism, what is feminism and what are the major critiques of feminism. So in this video we are going to talk about the first wave of feminism, and this is the continuation to that last video. You can watch that video called What is Feminism on our channel, Literature Simply. Now, in this video, we will talk about first wave because there are three waves considered in the history of feminism or feminist movement. Here we have first phase which is considered from 1792 to 1949, right from Mary Wollstonecraft to the Simone de Beauvoir. From Simone de Beauvoir, that is from 1949, the second wave has begun, or we consider that the second wave initiated from the very work of Simone de Beauvoir, that is the second sex, and Mary Wollstonecraft's work, A Vindication of Rights of Women, is considered the beginning of first wave. So before that, we have a few questions and we will answer these questions in this video. Very first question we have: what is first wave feminism? So we will consider it in this video. Then who are the major contributors to this first wave feminism? What are the features of first wave feminism? And what are the texts of the first wave feminism? Before that, we will also talk about the development in the first wave feminism, or some movements which are very important here. Very first, we can see that Seneca Falls Convention, which is organized in 1848 by Lucretia Mott and Elizabeth Cady Stanton. These two figures are very important in the organization of this convention, and this convention laid the foundation stone for the further extension of feminist movement in America. So this convention was organized in New York City. Here you can see the very stone which is inscribed with the words "First Convention for Women's Right" was held on this corner in 1848, New York City. So in this convention, there were more than 300 women participated, and these women fought against the inequality in society, unequal treatment given to women, and very importantly, their right for voting. So the right to vote is very important thing which were discussed in this convention, and that right to vote has been imparted to women in America with the 19th Amendment in 1920, and they have given the right to vote. Next development was Representation of the People Act in 1948, where again in United Kingdom or in Britain, the right to vote given to women, to those women who are above 30. So this is again important development in this. Again in 1893, in New Zealand, right to vote has been given, and this is called as the New Zealand suffrage. So the women's suffrage movement was important in New Zealand. So in this way, different types of developments were important in the first wave feminism. Now, let's talk about the important figures and their works, or important works in feminist movement. Very first, we have Mary Wollstonecraft's A Vindication of Rights of Women. So this work has seminal importance in the movement, or in this feminist movement. So A Vindication of Rights of Women, which is published in 1792, talks about the unequal treatment given to women compared to men, how men and women are unequal and how they are treated in the society, and they must be treated on equal grounds, is the very argument of Vindication of Rights of Women by Mary Wollstonecraft. So here you can see this book. Next important critic or important author is Elizabeth Cady Stanton, who wrote the Women's Bible. Now she looks at Bible from the perspective of women. So this is very important. It is a religious critique. She critiqued the idea of religion and how women are treated unequally on the basis of religion, or it is a very new perspective at that time, looking at Bible from the women's perspective. So this work also is important in this movement. Next work we have our critic Susan B. Anthony, who wrote History of Women Suffrage, which was written in 1881 to 1922, and it is co-authored with Stanton. So Stanton and Anthony are important feminist figures in this movement. So in this History of Women Suffrage, she talks about how women are considered lower to men and how they are denied the basic rights in this movement or in the society. So women's suffrage basically talks about the owning of property by men only and not by women. So this right also should be given to women. She should own property and she should have the right to vote. So all these things we find in History of Women Suffrage, and she talks about how women are considered historically unequal, or she gives examples from the history. Next we have very important author Sojourner Truth, and she delivered a speech in 1851 called Ain't I a Woman? And in that speech, she talked about intersection of race and gender. So this intersection, the basis of intersection and how this intersection leads to the unequal treatment given to women in the society. Again, she talks about the African American woman in her speech, Ain't I a Woman? Next author we have Charlotte Perkins Gilman. So she wrote The Yellow Wallpaper. Actually, this is a short story, and in this short story, she talks about the medical and societal health issues of women and how women faces the mental illness or mental hazards when the comparison is made between men and women, and how they are again considered unequal compared to men. So this is basically a short story talking about medical and mental health issues of women in the society. So these are important authors or important we can say that figures in the first wave of feminism. Now let's talk about some of the features of this first wave feminism. Here I have listed a few features. Very first feature here we have focus on suffrage and legal rights. Very first we can say that the convention, which was organized in 1848, they talked about the legal rights of women, the right to vote, right to own property, right to walk free in the society was the very, we can say that basic feature of that convention which was organized. Then second feature we have use of personal narratives. All these women, all these feminists talk about their personal experiences. They revolve stories around their personal experiences, and they through these personal experiences discloses how they were given unequal treatment in the society. So personal narratives is important feature. Then we have critique of patriarchy and religion. So we have seen the work called Women's Bible, and in that work we find that the critique of religion, or she very clearly talks about the Bible from the perspective of women. Then we have intersectionality, as we seen that the gender, male and female, how they are considered unequal, and male have given prominent place or prominent places at various stages, but women are denied those places or those things. For example, owning a property. So women could not own a property before, and that was the major concern in the first wave feminism. So this is intersectionality. Then we have publications and advocacy. In this period of 1792 to 1949 or 1848 to 1949, we find that there were so many publications emerged, and those publications were talking about or talked about the women's advocacy, women's rights, women's legal positions in the society or at various places, and these publications were emphasized on the rights of women. So we find there were so many books written, pamphlets, then journals, then we find newspaper articles during that period. Those articles, those books or those stories, those narratives talked about women and their development and their rights. These are some of the basic features of first wave feminism. I hope you got the idea of first wave feminism. If you have any problem, any query, you can comment below in the comment section. We will try to solve those problems. So let's meet in the next video. Thank you very much.